Hi. Wow, this is so great. This is unbelievable. Dad, I think I want to take a moment right at the beginning here and say enjoy this brief period when the star is clean, brand spanking new, because when night falls, the decidedly unclean and unsober begin to stumble across, and some of the love brokers in town come out with the ladies in their employ and start doing transactions around this area. And phenomenal placement of the star. If this is where the actual one is going, I don't know who negotiated that, but Tony, great work. People ask me a lot what it was like to grow up the son of famous actors, and honestly, it's not a soundbite when I say that it was just like any other kid's childhood, with small notable exceptions. Halloween came around, and my costume had a leg up because it was the Batman costume designed by Warner Brothers costume department. When I told my dad I wanted to be a stuntman as a kid, he one day brought home a big box full of breakaway glass bottles for my friends and I to bust over each other's heads, a big stunt pad for us to jump off the roof onto. All of it, as I say it now, it sounds like some bad parenting, but it was awesome at the time. But he's been like that. He's been supportive of whatever I wanted to do, particularly career-wise, although as I heard some of those credits listed, I'm not sure he's proud of every one of the titles or the Chris Brown collaboration. My parents always said, you can do whatever you want to do. Adults would come up to me at parties and say, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're going to be an actor like your folks? That was the one thing they nearly got hip-checked out of the room by my parents, who said, no acting, anything else. So I went right through the loophole and picked the one industry less reliable and with lower odds of success, which is music. But my dad was supportive throughout the entire endeavor, regardless of how bleak it looked. He never missed a gig. He was proud, supportive at every single gig, packed club, empty dive bar. Sometimes he was the only patron in there. And he was intense every time, just pacing back and forth, wringing his hands. And I'd see him, I'd be in the middle of a song, singing something, and I'd see him talking to the sound guy, gesturing wildly. I was the singer. But this is really incredible, you getting this, Dad. I'm so proud. The great thing about your career right now is you're doing your best work of your career. You're finally getting your due. You're getting recognized and all these awards. Who gets to say that 30-plus years into their career, that they're doing possibly better work than they were doing at the beginning? It's really amazing. And, this has always been a thing in the industry, and I think outside of it, people used to say, you know who's really great all the time but doesn't get appreciated and recognized enough as much as he should? Michael Keaton. To which I would always respond, Dad, I'm at school. You can't keep showing up like this. It's humiliating. But Dad, I want to warn you about the danger of this period that you're in right now, where you're finally getting the recognition you deserve, and the bookshelf at home starts getting new trophies on it, decidedly more gilded look of in the living room. The danger is full appreciation, or possibly the conversation that goes like this, where somebody says, hey, you know who's really great? Michael Keaton. And the other guy goes, yeah, I think he's kind of overrated. I'm sick of hearing about him all the time. I'm just saying, you're walking a line right now, and maybe you should pull it back. You're also here next to some of your heroes, some of the guys who inspired you to become an actor when you were younger, guys like Cagney, Steve McQueen. I'm assuming those guys have stars out here somewhere. If not, that's a huge oversight, and somebody should really look into that. But what's amazing about your career is the way that it unfolded is that you became kind of the anti-leading man. You were almost the answer to those types of guys. You redefined what a superhero could be, could look like, could act like. You played a stay-at-home dad before that was a thing people were comfortable with. You're not cool and collected like John Wayne. You're, unpredictable. I don't want to say jittery. Let's say frenetic. But one thing that's always been celebrated about you is your range, and it really is true. Sorry, I'm going to go to my notes here. You've done everything from Johnny Dangerously to playing Dogberry in Much Ado About Nothing, from Spotlight to Jackie Brown. But I think as your child, I can speak to an even broader range that other people have not been privy to. I've seen you go from a maniac in Pacific Heights to a maniacal T-ball coach in Pacific Palisades baseball. I've seen everything from Batman to bath time when I was a young kid, and I've seen you go from eating flies in Beetlejuice to fly fishing, and fly tying, and fly research. And it's a fly obsession, and we brought you here to talk about it. It's more of an intervention than a... But I'm so proud to be your son, Dad. You taught me so many things. One that I aspire to be bold, to make decisions, and stand behind them. You're allergic to scenes and trends, almost pathologically so. You're generous, you're honest, you're a true conservationist. You wear a cowboy hat and boots better than anyone who lives in the Pacific Palisades should reasonably be able to do. You're my hero, my best friend. I love you so much. Oh, and one more thing. The star says Keaton, and that's important because it represents everything you've done in your career. But I think my whole family and you would agree that that's a star for the Douglas family and for George and Leona Douglas, my grandparents, and my mom, Caroline Douglas, who are all proud of you right now. Thanks.